Hi everyone, I'm Wafalango and welcome you all in Grammar in Detail. If you are new and not subscribed the channel, so please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get some more videos about grammar. Today we have got the ditransitive verb throw from active voice into passive voice. It is a irregular verb and it means to throw something, and second form of throw is threw and third form is thrown, throwing, throws. And now we will discuss it how to change it into passive voice. Before changing it, we will put a glance in the definition of ditransitive verb. Di means to, transitive which can be changed into passive voice, verb which shows an action. So those verbs which need two objects, keep in your mind those verbs which need two objects and can be changed in passive voice into four ways, and we can change them in how many ways? Four ways are called the di or ditransitive verbs. Ditransitive verbs need one direct object and one indirect object. Direct object means all non-livings. Whatever the non-livings we have are known as the direct object, and indirect object means all non-livings, and whatever livings, and whatever the livings we have are known as the indirect object. So why do they need two objects? If you put one of the objects, the meaning won't be clear, or sometimes it will be wrong. And one example we will take from today's verb, that is known as throw. If I say you throw him, now see over there the meaning is not clear. You throw him, he is not any sort of thing, any sort of pencil that you throw him or something like clear. So you throw him, that is not a thing that you'll throw him. And if I say you throw, second way, if I make you throw a pencil, now over there the meaning is clear. But if you say that to whom you throw a pencil, so for that you need to bring the both objects, the direct and indirect object, together. Suppose if I say you throw him a pencil, this is the first way to change it into active voice. Second way, mostly we bring the indirect object at the beginning, direct at the end. But if you want to shuffle the places, your indirect object him will be followed by a preposition, like you throw a pencil to him. So you throw the pencil towards who? Towards him. So this is what there are two ways to change them into active voice. Main target, how we are going to change it from active voice into passive voice, that we will be discussing. And today we have got the modal auxiliary verb, used to. We will little bit discuss about used to, and I will remove your confusion, and then we will start it into passive voice. Used to is a modal auxiliary verb and a structure both. Some of the grammarians say that it is a modal auxiliary verb, and some of the grammarians say that it is a structure. Now, if it is a modal auxiliary verb, how we are going to change it into passive voice, and if it is a structure, how we are going to change it into passive voice. First, in this topic, we will be discussing it as a modal auxiliary verb. Then in next lecture we will be discussing it. Recently, after this lecture, we will be discussing it as a structure. And used to, keep in your mind, in used to, D is not read, it is not pronounced, it is written, it is spelled, but it is not read. You will say used to, not used to. So this should be in your mind. Used to, not used to. This should be in your mind. Clear? You'll read it without D. Now we have got the definition of used to. It is used for past habits and actions which we used to do in past. Now we have left doing them. Suppose an action, I say I used to teach in academies. Now I have left teaching in academies. Suppose I am teaching, but this is an example. And past habits, this was past action, and for past habits, how you will use it? Clear? This is past action, and for the past habits, I say I used to tease my teachers a lot. Now this was my bad habit, but now I am a teacher. I realize that what should be a respect for the teacher, and that is what, if I am in front of you here teaching, that is just because of teacher. And now I am saying that that is what my past habit. Now I am really ashamed by doing such actions which I used to do with my teachers, and that is a fact. Yes, and now I realize what should be a respect for teacher. and that is called, the habit. So for past and past habits and actions which we have left doing now, we are just talking about it. We have got the simple sentences. Those sentences which those sentences which make simple statement are called simple sentences. We have got the first sentence: he used to throw me a chalk. He used to throw a chalk to me. Now, I'm talking about my friend, that when we were in school, so when we would get a free class, so we used to throw chalk to one another. Now we have left that action, and that is what we are just talking about my friend's past habit. And indirect object comes at the beginning, direct at the end. But if you want to bring the direct at the beginning and indirect at the end, indirect object me will be followed by a preposition, that is to. Like, he used to throw a chalk to me. So these are the two ways to change them into active wise. Main target, how we are going to change them into passive wise. In passive wise, when you bring the subject, doer of an action, in the place of object, you make it by him, and here it is called agent, not object. Keep in your mind, here it will be called agent. And what is agent? It tells us who does an action in the sentence. So by him action is being done, so by him is not your object, but it is called your agent. And when you bring the indirect object, me, or direct object, in the place of subject, me, you make I, and a chalk as it is. So over there, that is known as, the subject, no doubt, but it is not called the doer of an action subject, but it is called title or topic subject. And what is title and topic subject? A person, place, or a thing in a sentence which we are talking about. In first and second sentence, we are talking about a person. And chalk is what, by which you write on the blackboards, and teachers used to write on the blackboards in past, but nowadays they use marker and whiteboard, but before that was chalk, by which they used to write on blackboards. And in third and fourth sentence, we are talking about things, that is known as chalk. When you bring subject, indirect object in the place of subject, you make it I in first and second sentence. So keep in your mind, by him comes at the beginning, a chalk at the end. A chalk at the beginning, by him at the end. When in third and fourth sentence, when you bring chalk in third and fourth sentence in the place of subject, so by him comes at the beginning, to me at the end, to me at the beginning, by him at the end. Sentences will be as followed: I used to be thrown by him chalk. I used to be thrown chalk by him. A chalk used to be thrown by him to me. A chalk used to be thrown to me by him. These are the four ways to change them into active wise, in passive wise. And next we have got the negative sentences. Those sentences in which we deny the statement, reject the statement, refuse the statement are called negative sentences. He used not to throw me a chalk. He used not to throw a chalk to me. I used not to be thrown by him a chalk. I used not to be thrown a chalk by him. A chalk used not to be thrown by him to me. A chalk used not to be thrown to me by him. Next, interrogative sentences. Those sentences in which we ask question, put queries, are called interrogative sentences. Use he to throw me a chalk. Use he to throw a chalk to me. Use I to be thrown by him a chalk. Use I to be thrown a chalk by him. Use a chalk to be thrown by him to me. Use a chalk to be thrown to me by him. Next we have got the formal sentences. Those sentences in which we ask questions, deny the statement, we ask them in a formal and polite way, are called formal sentences. Use he not to throw me a chalk. Use he not to throw a chalk to me. And use I not to be thrown by him a chalk. Use I not to be thrown a chalk by him. Use a chalk not to be thrown by him to me. Use a chalk not to be thrown to me by him. Next we have got informal sentences. Those sentences in which we ask questions, deny the statement, and we ask them in an informal way. Use not short form is usen't. Keep in your mind, you read it as like when I'm writing it, usen't, USEN apostrophe T, and usen't, D is not pronounced. Usen't E. Okay, what are informal sentences? You can ask them with your friend, in a friendly atmosphere with your friends, with juniors or youngers. Usen't he to throw me a chalk. Usen't he to throw a chalk to me. Usen't I to be thrown by my chalk. Usen't I to be thrown a chalk by him. Usen't a chalk to be thrown by him to me. Usen't a chalk to be thrown to me by him. Now these are the sentences of ditransitive verb throw with modal auxiliary verb used to. Hope you got today's lecture. Wish you best of luck. See you next time with next lecture. Bye bye.